Good evening. It's been too long since we've been together last.
It has been a long time.
This is say hello, Selah. Come on up. Selah's been a month. Oh, stay up here. Been a month since she's been. Come up here. Look up here. Up here. Here. Hey, give me a high five. Selah, come here. High five. Come here. She just wants to get down and get her treat.
That's all
she's here.
She's been interested in that treat for a while.
Give me a high five. Hey.
High five. Give me a high five. Give me a high five. Good girl. Okay.
Sorry about that. A little dog training going on each week.
Yeah.
It's been a month. And so that's why she's all wound up tonight. She even scratched me tonight because she was so...
I'm kind of wound up too.
Are you?
Yeah.
So we're doing interesting statistics. We just sort of came up with some statistics.
Well, they're verified statistics, so yeah.
Oh yeah, they're real. It's just sort of the strange things that go through my mind, like what I wonder about in the middle of the night. I looked some of those things up, and I'm sharing them with you tonight. We've been gone for a couple of weeks because we've been doing some stuff. We'll talk to you about that after the break. But it's been fun.
Yeah, 1 week I had a kidney stone.
Oh, that helped
I won't
too.
forget that.
That was quite a week.
That was quite a week.
And but we've been away for a month. I don't even know all the reasons why we haven't been here. So we're back. But it's time to do some interesting statistics.
Easy for you to say.
It isn't, actually. Statistics can be a word that does not roll off your tongue sometimes.
No.
Oh, you know what? I got my fan on high. Let me turn that down so everybody's not dealing with the noise. There we go. A little bit of silence.
Al's here. Welcome, Al.
See if I can get my fan to quiet down. It's not quieting for some reason. We'll see how that goes. So let's get rolling. We've got a bunch of statistics that we want to run through, and we think you'll find them interesting, even if you don't like statistics or numbers.
Right.
They're a lot of odd facts, a lot of interesting things, but they do have statistical background. So here we go. So you're going to guess along with us as we play. And the first one is an example. So for instance, if I said to you, are there more trees on the earth or are there more stars in the Milky Way? Statistically speaking.
Okay.
What would you say? Are there more trees or more stars?
I lean towards stars in the Milky Way.
A lot of stars in the Milky Way. Now, I didn't say stars in the universe. I'm not sure we know that, but the Milky Way, we have a pretty good idea.
Right. Well, Al's saying 1B.
And there are estimated to be about 400 billion stars.
Okay. In the Milky Way.
In the Milky Way.
How many trees are there?
Turns out that there are actually in the neighborhood of 3 trillion trees.
I was wondering if we were counting like seedling trees or full-grown trees. So yeah.
Yeah. So you always hear about how many stars there are, but there's an awful lot.
More trees.
Turns out there's a lot of like trees and a lot of sand, grains of sand, and things like that as well. I was explaining. Remember the other day we had the question about if you shuffle the cards, how if you shuffle them properly, no one's ever seen that number, and it's more than the grains of sand, more than the stars in the Milky Way, and more. So even when you're holding a deck of cards, you're holding a big number in your hand.
Rob got that one right.
Enough. Nice job, Rob. Good to be back with you all and see the familiar names. I haven't been in touch with many of you for the whole month, so it's good to see you. All right, let's go on to the next one. That was just the example. This one is now starts to count.
Now we're getting down to brass tacks.
Yeah, now it really. Okay. Now we're going to see what the difference is.
No.
So here's the question: how do you like them apples? In a grocery store, the average apple is 1 month old, 6 months old, or 1 year old or more. So when an apple comes to you, do you think it's a month old generally, which is pretty old?
I was just saying,
sort of hoping it's just a couple days, right?
Yes. I was hoping it came as fresh from the tree to me.
It turns out fresh apples does not mean fresh apples. I guarantee you it's one of these 3.
Well, okay. Well, we got somebody, Al's saying B, 6 months old.
6 months, that's a long time.
It is.
How do you think they keep an apple for 6 months if it's 6 months old?
I don't know. Well, they used to have root cellars back in the day, so maybe something like that.
Mm.
Yeah.
What's your idea on this one, Ida? What do you think?
I think I want to say A, but I think it's
Just
B.
a month. Yeah. Yeah, here's the answer.
No.
It's C. 14 months is actually average. More than a year. All the apples in the United States are harvested in the fall. September,
yeah.
October. So they harvest them a little bit early, August, September, instead of September, October. August, a month early. And then they treat them with a chemical.
This is disconcerting. Is this where they dip them in wax?
Every apple. They dip them in wax. That's why they dip them in wax, too. But before they go to grocery stores, they're treated in methocyclopropene.
So 14 months.
And then they're put in, they're waxed, they're put in a box, they're kept in cold storage, and they are stored for between 9 and 12 months. You never get an apple that's less than a year old.
I'm going to pick my own apples from now on. It's either fresh from the tree or not at all. That's interesting.
Isn't that something? That's an unknown grocery fact right there.
Yeah.
Statistical grocery fact. We're all done, Selah. Yeah. So that's what you get. A year old. Your apple, if you get a really good one, it was a good one a year ago too. It was green. It was green a year ago. They pick them a little bit early so they last longer, but they also treat them with chemicals, which is better. They used to treat them with worse chemicals, so we're improving.
Okay, wash those apples.
Here's the next one. Number 2, ice cream, use cream. How many pounds of ice cream are sold per person in the United States? Is it 8 pounds, 23 pounds, or 42 pounds? How many pounds of ice cream are sold per person in the United States? 8 pounds. How many pounds are in a box?
That's what I was just trying to calculate. Yeah.
Maybe somebody go look at their ice cream and tell us how much is in an ice cream. But I'd think like a box of ice cream would be maybe a pound and a half, wouldn't you think? And not a lot. Ice cream's not real heavy.
Yeah.
Gallon probably weighs in the neighborhood of 5 pounds.
Really?
I don't know. That'd be my guess.
That seems like a lot. Well, Rob's saying 3B. So he's saying 23 pounds per person.
23. Rob's going on the board with 23.
Yeah, he's got early answers getting put in too. I don't know.
It turns out the amount sold and the amount eaten is pretty much the same. So it's not. There's no trick here.
Per person in the United States,
right?
Including children,
babies.
I'm going to say C.
People who are convalescing. Everyone. In fact, seniors eat more ice cream than average.
Yeah, I can testify to that.
There's only one group that eats more ice cream than seniors.
What's that?
Little kids.
They waste a lot. So, we seniors make sure we get it all in.
Yeah, there you go.
It is.
The answer is B, just like Rob thought. According to the International Dairy Foods Association, the average American consumes more than 22 pounds of ice cream per year. More than 22. So we said
42
about 23.
is way too many. So I should have known that. 23 pounds.
Yeah, still pretty good.
Yeah.
23 pounds per year.
Yeah.
2 pounds a month. That doesn't seem like so much to me when you spread it all out. It's only a half pound a week.
Is that all?
There's nothing here, Selah. Nothing for you.
You look at all the people who don't eat it, so you figure, some people are getting more than their share. I do what I can to help.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're doing your part.
Yeah.
Because there's people who can't eat it. There's lactose intolerant people and things like that. Come on up. Come up.
She's just looking at you like, give me a treat.
Yeah, she just wants a treat or nothing. All right, let's keep going, Ida.
All right.
How are you doing so far? Only done 2 questions.
So far, I'm striking out.
You haven't gotten either of the first 2? But you did get the example.
No, I didn't. I said stars. I'm 0 for 3.
Okay, mirror, mirror on the wall. In the UK, a study showed that over 80% of women looking in a mirror were unhappy with what they see. 80% of women, when they look in the mirror, are unhappy.
Mm-hmm.
What percentage of people with Down syndrome like what they see when they look into a mirror? Is it 20%, about the same as women? Is it 50%, more than double women?
Yeah.
Or is it more than 50%? What percentage of people with Down syndrome like what they see?
I'm going
when
for C
they
with
look in
that
the
one.
mirror? You like C?
I like C.
Rob says you're out of the game.
I know.
Can't play anymore. That'd be a shame.
It would be a shame. I'm going to keep
Make
playing.
the hosting really difficult.
I know. I'm going to keep going. I don't give up.
Any answers out there? What do you think?
I'll say C.
This is 3. Mirror, mirror on the wall is number 3.
3C. He says.
Yeah.
Rob says 4A.
3C. Yeah, he meant 3 because he was counting the example as a question. So here's the answer.
Okay. What is it?
Yeah, in fact,
it's C.
It is C. In fact, it's super C because self-perceptions of people with Down syndrome, which is a study that was done, a research study, found that 96% like how they look.
You know,
not just 50% or above 50%.
We can all take a lesson there.
But a super majority.
20%.
Yeah. 20% to 96%.
Yeah. That's pretty disconcerting.
Yeah, maybe people with Down syndrome have something to teach women.
I think so too.
You women, you got to learn some things.
Yeah.
Here's the next question. Question number 4. According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, on average, 49% of women do housework each day. On average, what percentage of men do housework each day? It's interesting, not surprising, interesting.
I'm seeing a silence from the male majority out there.
There's not a lot.
Does making your bed count as housework?
I don't know what counts as housework in this case, but I think it requires more than a minute. It's actual, like an hour or so. There were statistics on how many hours that included.
Okay,
but somebody that puts significant time into housework each day. What percent? Is it 19% for men, or is it 47%, or is it 59%?
It's one of those. 47%.
It's one of those.
Rob says A.
Right. Rob's a big worker.
I don't know.
Well, that's what he's claiming.
Well, he says A excluding him.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we assume he's a strong houseworker.
All right. Linda's saying A. We got several A's out there.
Everybody thinks the answer is A.
Because nobody else is there to do it, so he's got the 47%.
When you're going to do it every other day. It looks like it takes to work on your home on average. But the answer is A.
19%.
Yeah. And the truth is, there isn't much more to say about it than that.
It's just so you can rest tonight. You don't have to stay awake and wonder what that one is.
It's just not good. 49% women, and these are working women and working men and not working. I mean, it's a balanced study.
We still haven't, we haven't worked that out yet.
No.
My brother didn't have to do any housework at all.
I didn't either.
Until 6th grade, and he got a D on his report card. That was the best news for me because then he had to start doing housework. So, yay team.
Dogs in the household are upset about this statistics, so we better move on to the next one.
That's right. On to the next thing.
It's even causing the dogs next door to bark.
I think that's...
Okay, so question 5, 2E. How many
goodness.
liters of saliva does the average person produce per month?
This is something you just were wondering about.
What's the perfect thing to wonder when you've just slobbered on your pillow in bed?
I was wondering if that was it.
How much?
A drooly pillow.
How much drooling does go on in this world?
How many liters of saliva per month?
It's more than a liter per month. So how much do you think you produce? Think about it. So you produce a little bit more when you eat, a little bit less when you sleep, typically. And alcohol will dry you out. So there's different phases, but in general, just over the average. How much?
Well, I'm saying C. 30 liters
Is it
a month?
15 liters? Is it between 15 and 30 liters? Or is it more than 30 liters? Is it a big 30 liters? How much? I don't know what the equivalent of 30. That's like half a tank of gas. Or
I'm sorry. I'm actually getting
a little more than half.
a little nauseous.
Making you get saliva in your
Thinking
mouth?
about, yeah, I'm like, oh, I got to swallow. I don't know what patooey. Oh, like patooey. I get it.
That's the sound of spitting.
Oh.
Chewy.
Okay.
That's up at the top of the slide. It says patooey.
Chewy. Oh my. Well, when I don't know, I always go with B.
So you're going with B?
I'm going with B, between 15 and 30 liters.
Good instinct to go with B.
Aha.
Yeah. Average is about 23 liters per month.
Oh no.
Just less than a liter a day. It's just 53 bathtubs filled to the brim in your lifetime. And you could fill those bathtubs
That's gross.
Never be without.
But, we would be dead without that, I guess. So let's just.
It's a good thing. It protects you. Saliva is a protectant.
Why do people spit?
It's also a protectant.
Like baseball players.
Get stuff out of your mouth. Get the dirt and stuff out of your body instead of swallowing it. Baseball players, they're getting dust in their face and stuff, so they got to get it out of there.
Oh, okay.
I'm excusing baseball players.
Okay. If you're a baseball player, you may spit.
How about question number 6?
Okay.
The disabled entrepreneur category. 9.6% of men, about 10% of men without disabilities, run their own businesses or are self-employed. Okay. What percent of men with disabilities run their own businesses or self-employed? Is it 2%, 4.8%, 9.6%, the same as men without, or is it 14.6%? So what do you think? Do you think it's, so your categories here are more, the same, less, or really less? Those are sort of the options.
Okay.
Which do you think it is? We often say that all the statistics in disability are worse. So alcoholism, divorce, depression, drug abuse. We often say that those statistics are worse in the disabled community than in the typical community. But we've already seen that 96% of people with Down syndrome like what they see in the mirror. That's a positive statistic. Right. So is this a positive statistic or a negative statistic? That's the question. 9.6% of men. I didn't put the women, although we did calculate it. Do you have that statistic sitting around here somewhere?
I think I might have thrown it away.
Because I meant to record it, but I forgot to.
We'll have to
look it up another time, huh?
Yeah. But
yeah,
I'm telling you, it's D. I'm sure that it came as a surprise to me when I was studying these statistics when we did some research on employment with individuals with disabilities, and it was encouraging to see that people with disabilities are often self-employed for lots of different reasons, and they do very well. So,
yeah. If you thought that it was less, most of the employment statistics are lower, but it turns out that when it comes to self-employment and running your own business, people with disabilities actually seem to have an advantage. Let me take a look at my, so experience breeds success. So there's a lot of people who run their own business. So there's some evidence that disability-owned businesses are actually more than likely to succeed, which is another reason why there's more of them, because they succeed.
That's right. That's awesome.
So that's a fun little statistic. Significantly higher. I mean, statistically, significantly higher than people without disabilities.
The same goes for women. Women are more successful.
Yeah.
With women with disabilities are more successful than those with.
Yeah, the numbers are slightly lower in each case.
Yeah.
Right. But women with disabilities actually have more self-employment or run their own businesses more often than women without. There's a lot of speculation as to why that is. And so we won't go into that because this isn't an employment show. But going for the gold, we got our friend about ready to be in the Paralympics.
He's getting ready to
Sayla,
travel
come
to
on
Tokyo.
off of there. Yeah. Come on off. Sayla, come down. So, good girl.
Yeah, Joe Delagrave. I've been posting on our Uniquely the Same Friends page his progress and where he is right now. I think they were 57 days out a few days ago. So he's getting ready.
So on the topic of gold, haven't you ever wondered what percent of an Olympic gold medal is gold? I always wondered how much they're worth.
Yeah.
Right. And so if you get a gold medal, I mean, those are big, and they always show them biting on the. You always take a picture where they're biting on it, to see whether it's real gold. So
I think they should be 100% pure gold, but I don't think they are.
Are they 100% pure gold, or are they the equivalent of 22 karat gold?
Oh.
Which would make them 91.67% gold. Or are they 14 karat gold? 58.3. Or are they less than 10%? They're actually gold plated silver, is what I said at the end there. So what do you think? Are they hardly any gold? Are they 14 karat gold, 22 karat gold?
Al says C. We've got one person weighing in, and Rob's saying D. And I have a tendency to say D as well.
D.
Yeah.
That gold is metal. Yesterday you told me that blueberries are red when they're green.
Yes.
Which I repeated last night, and everyone just mocked me all night for it.
They are. Blueberries are red when they're green.
They couldn't even understand what that could even possibly mean. And then after I explained it, they said, well, you mean they're green when they're red.
No, they're red when they're green.
Anyway, so now you're saying not only are blueberries red when they're green, but gold medals are silver when they're gold.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
That's what I said.
Or actually, the way the saying goes, they're gold when they're silver.
What is it? I'm dying to know.
So what do you think? You think it's D?
I think it's D.
All right. We have people going both ways here. Yeah. But nobody's saying the 100%. No, they're gold plated. They have 6 grams of 22 karat gold plating on them. So it is 22 karat gold, but it's gold plating around silver. They're 96.5 or 92.5% silver.
Why wouldn't they be all gold? I think we should.
The reason they wouldn't be all gold is because they would cost $28,000 a piece.
Oh. Well.
And they give lots of them out.
That's okay. Well, D is the answer.
Yep.
Less than 10%.
It's D. Much less than 10%. Oh. Okay, here we go. Which, a day in the life of the Earth, right? Which would circle the Earth more times? The number of steps the average person takes in a lifetime, that's a lot of steps, right? Or the average length of an adult's blood vessels laid end to end. If you took a person's blood vessels, how many blood vessels are actually in? Because you have blood vessels, I mean, they go all the way up into your skin, and there's blood vessels everywhere.
You're counting little capillaries.
Blood vessels, yeah. Okay. Anything that blood flows through a vessel.
Number of steps. Or the length of adult blood vessels.
It turns out that at least one of those gets you the whole way around the Earth.
Do you ever sleep? I wonder.
Which would circle
or do you
the
just
Earth?
like lay awake and look at the ceiling and say, I wonder how many steps and how many, what that measures, how many.
I'm actually not sure how far the Earth is on the equator, how many steps.
Yeah, you have to know how big of a step.
I've forgotten the answer to that, but I know the averages.
Well, Rob is shouting out B proudly, 8B.
He says blood vessels, lots of blood vessels. Rob's going on record saying.
Yeah, I don't know.
Would you think either of these could go the whole way around the Earth?
No, but so I'm surprised at both of them. So I'm not sure. Do I have to pick one, or can I plead the fifth?
Only if you want to get it. Only if you want to have a chance of getting it right.
Okay, well then I'm going to say B.
It's a 50-50 question.
Because B is my thing. It's A.
It is A. 7,500 steps per day average.
Okay.
All right, which amounts to 110,000 miles for those who live to 80, which is the average lifespan now for a newborn baby. So 110,000 miles, which would be 5 times around the Earth.
That's good to know.
5 times. You walk in your lifetime, you're walking around the Earth 5 times. It'd be a lot harder though, because there's a lot of it's oceans, and you'd have to hold your breath. But
for a very long time.
Now, the average length of an adult blood vessels are also surprisingly long.
Yes, so they can go
60,000 miles. That'll get you around 2.5 times. roughly 2.5.
Yeah, not
And,
just half.
Yeah,
half the amount of their steps.
yeah.
That's
But still
interesting.
twice, still more than twice. That's still a long way. That's just one person. We're not talking about all the people in the world.
And it says
Just one
today she's
person.
at 9904.
90.
Step.
Linda's
She's booking those
exceeding.
steps.
She's going to try to get around the Earth 10 times. It
Good for
seems.
her.
All right, we just have one more question,
Okay. I'm ready
and then
for
our
it.
game will be over.
Okay.
You're getting sleepy. This is the point in the show where everyone starts to fade away. So let's see. What percentage of adults are joined by a stuffed animal at bedtime? What percentage of adults?
Adults.
Yeah. What? Not children, but adults. This is adults only. Are joined at bedtime with a stuffed animal. You got a stuffed animal
No.
anywhere in your bedroom or near your bed, or
I know.
is it 6% of adults, or is it 14% of adults, or 26% of adults, or 40% of adults? How many adults sleeping with their teddy bear?
Al says 14%.
Sleeping with their teddy bear.
Well,
when did you break up with your teddy bear? Did you have a teddy bear?
I did, but I had a stuffed cat named Noof Noof.
Okay. Oh, that's a stuffed animal. That counts. Noof Noof.
Yes, Noof.
And was Noof Noof given to you by someone?
Yes, it was my aunt.
Yeah, see, you can remember, isn't it? So it's very sentimental.
Yes, and Noof Noof went and had many surgeries to sew her back together again. It was a her. I just realized that when I said her, sew her back together again. But yeah, I don't still sleep with her.
How about, I wonder if anybody out there sleeps with a stuffed animal.
Do you?
I have a stuffed animal near my bed. Sometimes it shows up in the bed. I got it in college, and it's usually in the bedroom somewhere.
Is it a teddy bear?
No, it's a basset hound.
Oh.
Name's Baxter.
Look at you blushing like, oh, yes, my Baxter.
But I wouldn't say I sleep. I don't think I would say that I sleep with Baxter. I mean, certainly not.
Does he give you some sort of comfort, like when you look over and see him there?
Like, yes.
Yeah. Well, then it's worth it. We have two Bs. Two people are saying 14%.
Yeah, 14%, or in the neighborhood of 1 in 6, right?
Yeah.
Let's see.
No.
40%. According to an independent study paid for by Build-A-Bear.
Okay.
All right.
They
studied 1,000 adults in the United States, a random selection of 1,000 adults, and 40% of them said they have a stuffed animal. 40%. This is the one, I don't know, when I was preparing this, I went, that can't be true. How could that possibly be true?
40% is a big number.
But it's quoted in lots of major newspapers. So I didn't really look at the study to see how legit that study is. But the idea, what Build-A-Bear says is, when someone gives you a stuffed animal, it's sentimental, and people don't like to part with that sentimental thing.
Right.
And it becomes just their friend, and so it hangs out.
And they've done a good job marketing those things, and put somebody's voice in that bear. And
So you go to Build-A-Bear, and you make a bear with your grandchild, and you come home and you go, oh, there's my little.
Yes.
So you think of another
Avery's
person
voice.
when you see it. Or you go to the park and you win a bear, a big giant bear, and you're like, oh, I gotta have that.
Yeah.
It is hard to throw away a teddy bear, I think, or a stuffed
animal. Yeah.
Hard to send them to Goodwill.
I have a big giant collection of what are those things called? Beanie Babies. It was a thing my mom and I did to collect all the Beanie Babies. Now I've got buckets of Beanie Babies, and I just need to take them to a hospital or something somewhere and just give them away, because we thought they'd be worth millions of dollars someday, and they're worth about $1.
Linda's saying Baxter is from her. I didn't know that I didn't say that, but yeah, I got her in college. Linda gave me Baxter. And we even had a little miniature Baxter, a little tiny Baxter, big Baxter.
Well, that's sweet.
That's the end of our surprising. Were those surprising? Were they interesting?
I thought they were interesting, and they're definitely surprising. Well, except for the Patooey one, I'm still not over.
Not
it.
happy about that.
I don't want to.
You know, I have to do some
5 bathtubs
function
full
part of every show. Those are my rules.
Why did you say bathtubs? I mean, you imagine people getting in the tub with saliva.
53 bathtubs to the brim, not just full, like all the way up.
So when you
spilling over a little bit.
Can you see them gagging, really?
So when you get in it, it spills onto the floor. Sort of oozes over the edge.
Somebody else would have to come clean that up, not me.
That's our little quiz for today.
That was a good one, Cal.
Mm-hmm. Are you ready to move into the saying of the week?
I think I am.
All right, let's pop into your saying of the week.
Okay. I just think that this one came to me because the older you get, the more you appreciate people that are just good, kind, loving people. So this one is, the best kind of people are the ones that come into your life and make you see the sun where you once saw clouds. The people that believe in you so much you start to believe in you too. The people that love you simply for being you. The once in a lifetime kind of people. I think the world needs more of those once in a lifetime kind of people, but in my experience, I'm finding more and more of those people as life goes on. Maybe I'm more in tune to looking for those kind of people and surrounding myself with people that feel like sunshine.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's my saying.
Yeah, you do have some choice in who you hang out with.
That's true.
And sometimes you do. And it's good to hang out with those kind of people that lift you up a little bit.
That's right.
Let's move to the joke of the week. Everybody anticipates the joke of the week. The whole show.
I've been waiting for this.
Can't wait to hear it. This week we've got our friend Al Dayhoff, Pastor Al Dayhoff.
I haven't seen him for ages.
Al Dayhoff wrote a book. Gosh, I can't remember. It's something like Tattoos and God. I can't get the title exactly.
Yeah, I think it's God and Tattoos.
God and Tattoos. Oh, how could I not remember that? I even looked at it just before the show. But anyway, he does research on tattoos. He spent weeks talking to people about their tattoos. Why are people writing on themselves? What are they trying to? So here's Al's joke.
It's God and Tattoos. Why are people writing on themselves?
There you go. Thank you
You're welcome.
Thank you for checking that out. So Al says, I research tattoos. For instance, recently I found a drummer with a hi-hat tattoo on his forearm. A drummer with a hi-hat. That seems reasonable. Man. Yes. I've determined it's symbolic.
Oh,
that's his whole research, is the symbolism of the...
I get it. It's...
He didn't think much
don't
of
know
it.
What to say.
Like he didn't send... I sent it to him on a text message and he didn't like go, ha, ha,
ha. I wonder
That's
why.
what I was expecting, a ha, ha, ha.
Something. Sorry about that, Al.
Appreciate it, Al.
But thank you for being here for us.
Let's get off that joke as fast as we can. Move to the next thing. It's just time for comments. What do you have to say? What would you like to throw in? We'll put some news up while we're at it. Just interested in anything that anybody wants to say.
We have some, while we're waiting for people to weigh in, we've got some birthdays. We could do some shout outs because we missed some days. Well, speaking of Al Dayhoff, his birthday was the 19th of June. Andy Spangler was the 21st.
Andy. Yeah.
Greg Atterbury on the 22nd. Sandy Garling, my college roommate, on the 23rd. Linda Clark on the 28th.
Yeah, we missed a lot of birthdays, didn't we?
Caleb Reagan on July 2nd. Nero Sheth on the 5th.
Nero?
Yeah. Sandy Davies on the 5th. Andrew Perini on the 6th.
Oh, my.
Jess Bavard on the 6th. And Kate Anefsky on the 7th. That's a lot of birthdays.
It sure is.
Yeah. So happy birthday, everybody. That's good news. And we may have missed a few. So if I missed anybody.
Yeah, I'll bet we did.
I'm sure.
I would just mention Ron Sanderson.
Okay.
Fran Heiser. Let me think, who else? Did you say Caleb?
I did.
Oh, I didn't hear you say Caleb.
Mm-hmm. This is the same day as Nero's.
And, am
I wrong?
Not on my...
Oh,
on mine
was
the second and Nero's is the 5th.
I had Sandy and Nero's.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I did say.
So, yeah. Thanks for Thanks for that. If you guys have any shout outs that you want to put out there, anything that you want to say, we've got some stuff to talk about.
Yeah.
I forget what it is, but I know we had something.
I think you're going to tell them what we've been up to with, yeah.
So our friend Stephanie Hubach, which some Rob knows, and I don't know if others know, but Stephanie was the speaker at our conference quite a few years ago now, 4 or 5 years ago.
2016.
Yeah, so 5 years ago, here in Monroeville. And Stephanie is an expert on disability, or I would call her a theologian on disability. And she wrote a book by the name of Same Lake, Different Boat. And so we keep in touch with her and just touch base every once in a while. She referred someone named Kelly Harnish to us. And Kelly is from the Lancaster area, actually Mannheim, Pennsylvania, if any of you know where that is. That's out where Anna Marie went to school. And Pennsylvania, for people who aren't from Pennsylvania, we live in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I live in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And Ida is here a lot of time. And I just realized, where's Joel? No Joel tonight.
He's working tonight.
Oh. And so lots of people think that Pittsburgh is Pennsylvania and Pennsylvania is Pittsburgh, but Pennsylvania is
like Illinois and Chicago.
Really big state.
Yes.
Yeah, Chicago's pretty far as well from some places in Illinois. And so Philadelphia is, a 6-hour drive from here, and Lancaster is 4 or 5 hours. So anyway, that's where they are. Pretty far from us, but still in the same state. And so Stephanie, who's out from that area, hooked us up. And guess what they're trying to do? They are interested in building a little community. I don't know if a little is the necessary, but starting as a little community, starting with some housing and employment co-located with the housing in the city of Mannheim. They're looking at a facility there. They'd like to put a facility in place. And so they asked us if we wanted to be part of their process. And so we sort of asked them while they were asking us if we could, because that's what we're into and what we like. It's really part of Uniquely the Same charter, something that we've had our eyes on for quite a while. So we wanted to support them. So we are wholeheartedly behind that effort. And that's the main reason we weren't here last week, because we had the first board meeting. Was over there, and it was on Friday, so we couldn't do that board meeting and do the show.
Travel and all of it. Yeah.
So that was very exciting. You're going to hear more about that. I'll bet you Kelly will be on this program.
Definitely, we'll get her on here.
We should have thought to send her a reminder, or the whole board, and said, hey, watch the show.
We should have. Yeah.
But one of these days we'll do a show with them and talk more about that vision. But it's neat. So they call the organization, we call the organization Hope Served. And it's sort of an ice cream theme idea, Hope Served.
Right.
Because that's the idea of the first business that that we might put in place, is an ice cream shop, very much like Spectre Dolce is here in Monroeville. Right. So in fact, they're going to come over and visit that, see that, and we'll see where it goes. So we'll be meeting with them, I think, monthly for quite a while. And we keep in touch, and we'll continue to do that.
It's exciting to be around people with the similar vision as ours, and they're psyched about it, and they have a lot of energy about it, and it's lots of fun.
So we're looking at a project real quick. So even in just a few months. So we're trying to put a 501c3 in place and try to get it moving forward. Maybe some of you would want to be involved. So there may be opportunities. So that was fun.
Yeah.
Anything else exciting going on? That's sort of the big stuff I can think of. There's lots of news I'm seeing flying by here. So, I didn't hear any shout outs from the listening audience, the watching audience, the commenting audience. So with that, we're going to wrap it up.
Okay.
Anything else? Did we do the days?
I don't know if we did the days.
We did birthdays.
We did birthdays. Well, today it's International Joke Day.
There you go.
July 2nd, World UFO Day. I think we should be paying attention to that.
We missed World UFO Day.
I know.
Is that because the U.S. released their UFO thing?
No, it was there before. It was already there.
So the U.S. decided to do it on World UFO Day?
That's interesting. No, tomorrow is World UFO Day. So.
Wasn't the release of the United States as there's like 30 things we don't know what they are?
Yeah, more than that. 40. They can explain 43 of the 44 or something like that. No, they can explain one of the 44. So 43 still remained unexplained. The 11th of July is Cheer Up the Lonely Day, which I think is kind of nice. So we could all take a moment and cheer up the lonely people.
Cheer up the lonely. Those poor lonely people.
We're all a little bit lonely, so we should just.
Why can't we just be some of the lonely people?
Okay, I agree with you on that one. It's rare, but I agree with you on that one.
I'm not big on those. Let's help those lonely people, as if we're not lonely.
That's right. Well, I think that was understood.
That's what we call ableism.
I'm going to write him a letter.
I mean, I'm ableistic myself enough. I don't need celebrate days that have it right in their titles.
Okay, I'm with you on that one.
Oh my! In fact, when we were talking about that Down syndrome statistic, there's a lot of people who don't like it when you say a statistic like that, because what they want to say is, wait a second, people who have Down syndrome are just like everyone. Some people look in the mirror and they don't like themselves, and so you shouldn't say that people with Down syndrome 96% of the time, because 4% of the time they're. And I'm saying statistically that is not true. They are not like
that's right
other people, but there is. I mean, there is a very strong objection to those kinds of. The idea is that I think the objection is that you want somebody to be heroic. You want a person with a disability to be amazing. And so those amazing, inspirational people with Down syndrome, they look in the mirror and they could inspire women everywhere. But it's true in that case, so why deny it? I mean, there's other stuff.
Oh, I think we can all learn things from each other. That's
and so I don't know. It is a little bit stereotypical. I understand that. It is putting people in a category. But the reason why I pointed out is because so many people, when they're faced with a diagnosis of Down syndrome, their heart falls and they have this sort of, this great sadness. And when you think about it, like, what is the sadness that happened there? You're really sad because you have a person who's 96% likely to like the way they look.
Yeah.
and there are other statistics about life satisfaction, happiness, and that sort of thing. People with Down syndrome. Now, you're also, I can understand you might be sad because you're also statistically more likely to have somebody who's fairly hard-headed and very determined in what they do and what they want to do. And so you do have you got your hands full. And so those are some statistics that, you never know who the individual is going to be. But the idea is, why are people sad? Right. And why are we thinking even of medical procedures to avoid it? And so anyway, that's my lesson for the day.
Okay.
We had a couple of little disability statistics.
We did.
That's actually where the idea for the show began. I said, hey, why don't we do a show on positive statistics for disability? And then we decided that would be sort of inspiration porn, what lots of people call, where we're just trying to inspire, and say, oh, look at how amazing that is, and see if we get lots of views on it. So we decided, let's just talk about surprising things in general, and we don't have to push the fact.
I enjoyed it.
That's it. Well, that's the end of the show for this week.
Okay.
But Ida, wait till next week.
Look out.
The show is going to be better still. It's this show.
I'm bracing myself.
Yeah, this show is just the beginning.
I'm waiting. I'm willing. I'm wanting.
All right, Henry Higgins.
Okay.
I do believe that's from My Fair Lady.
It is. I didn't sing it. So
I forget I forget the guy's name, the Cockney guy.
Henry Higgins.
No, Henry Higgins.
He's the professor.
Yeah. Anyway,
whatever.
Someone will know. You can leave it in the comments.
Yeah.
Hey, we would appreciate it if you're watching this on YouTube or Facebook. You can do your appropriate thing, like, subscribe, click on the bell so that you get indications that we're coming live. We did that. We came live a little bit in a different way this week. Facebook keeps pushing us to do it this particular way, which we did again. And Linda had trouble getting. I'd be interested if anyone else had trouble getting on as a result of that. I'm not sure how she ended up getting on. Somehow, when you do an event, which is what we did, and then you do a live event off of that, it creates a new link, and the old event has an old link in it somehow that you can, like, if you've prepared and you're ready to watch it, then the link changes. So anyway, I don't know exactly why. I'm going to complain to Facebook about it because it happened the last time we did it and we backed away from it. So Facebook won't care, but we're gonna give them our 2 cents worth. Let them know what I think. Take that, Facebook. Yes, so that's it. Okay. And what I would like you to know is that I'm uniquely the same. You're uniquely the same. Together, we could change the world. And we will see you next time. I gotta find that closing little video montage. Bye-bye.